Okay, so this is a video of planks and plank variations. Now, I teach planks often to my clients. I think it's a really worthwhile exercise to develop really a sense of endurance in holding the core, in working the core along with the arms, along with the legs. So, big things that people make mistakes with the plank. Error number one is they let the back sag. So no matter how long you can hold your plank, if it's not a good position, it's not particularly useful. Second thing, and this is the hard one, is that you really want to see if you can get your glutes engaged in your plank. So think of the abdominals as connecting the ribs to the pelvis, but the glutes connect the pelvis to the leg. So really we want all of those components to be working together as a team. Now, planks are boring. So an isometric plank, for most people, they're only going to tolerate doing it regularly for so long. So what I ask my clients to do is to really aim themselves at 1 minute to 1.5 minutes in a plank. Now, once we get there, we start adding variations. It's not like you don't do the basic isometric plank, but that's not your regular plank exercise. My athletic clients, I like them to have the endurance of about a 3-minute plank. Now, depending where you're starting from, that might take you a year to get there. So don't stress it, but have that as a little carrot, right? How long can you increase the endurance in your plank? But long before that, really what you're mostly going to be doing is a variation of different plank exercises. Partly because they work the muscles differently, but they also are more interesting to do. So that's what this video is about. Number one, I'm going to teach you a good basic plank. Number two, we're going to do a whole series of variations that you can use. Okay? Here we go. First, the basic plank. Now, you can do it two ways. You can do it from your hands or you can do it from your forearms. I typically teach the basic endurance plank from the forearms. Now, the reason for that is a fair number of people really don't like weight bearing through their wrists for prolonged periods of time. Now, just so you know, once we get to the variations, most of them are done from the hands. And the reason they're done that way is it just makes it easier. Okay? So here we go, basic plank. So, forearms on the floor. Forearms are parallel to one another. Then you're up on your toes, and then you engage the abdominals, engage the glutes, and down you come into your plank. Now, for a lot of people, they need to really think about pulling the abdominals together. And then the second thing is trying to get the glutes to engage as you do that. The most common thing I see is glutes are disengaged and the back is hanging. So you want to pull it together and squeeze. Now, when you're doing that, I usually get people to take their phone, place it beside them, find the stopwatch, press start, and away you go. That way you know how long you're holding that front plank for. Now, once you can do it for 45 seconds, you don't want to stop at 30. So what we want is just to slowly increase that. In a core workout, I suggest you do one. So you're not going to need to do a series of these, just do one and hold it as long as you can. Okay, that's your basic plank. All right, now, as I said, all of the variations are done from the hands. So the first variation is a mountain climber. Arms are stable, you have to be able to balance on one leg. Of the variations, this one's relatively straightforward. So we're going to do two versions of this. The first one, the knee is coming to the same elbow. Second one, the knee is coming to the opposite elbow. Okay, here we go. The one to the opposite elbow allows a rotation through the trunk. So here we are in our basic plank, now from the hands. All right, so you're going to pull your knee up, touch the elbow, put it back, strong in that position. Pull it up, back you go. You want to get there strongly. Core is engaged, glutes are engaged, head is lifted, arms are strong. And you never know what's going to be the first thing to give out here. For some people, it actually is their arms or their shoulders. Okay, there's your basics mountain climber. Now here's the diagonal one. You're going to pull your knee up to the opposite elbow, and that allows a little bit of rotation. But you always go back to a strong plank position. So knee to elbow, back you go, knee to elbow, back you go. All right, so there's square mountain climbers, diagonal mountain climbers. Okay, the next one we're gonna do is called the shoulder tap. So on this one, feet are stable, arms are the things that are gonna move. Now, as a starting point here, you want your legs to be a little bit wider. So I'm doing this on a yoga mat. I'm gonna take my feet right to the edge of the yoga mat. That's to make it easier, not to make it harder. As you want to challenge yourself more, bring the feet closer and closer together. With the arms, they're fairly narrow. You'll want to make it more difficult, take your arms out. So you're going to go from there, tap one shoulder, put it down, tap the other shoulder, put it down. All right? So this really challenges your ability to hold that neutral position. The tendency for most people is a twist. So I'm going to show you what we don't want to see, and then I'm going to show you as best I can what we're looking for ideally in that shoulder tap. So here it is. Coming up on your hands, all right? Now you can see my feet are a little bit wider, my hands are a little bit narrower. You're going to engage your core, you're going to engage your glute. Now, this is what I don't want to see, is this sort of twist. All right? What you want to do is get really strong and prevent that twist from happening. Whatever you need to get more glutes, more core, to prevent that rotation. Okay? So the hand tap or the shoulder tap is really sort of an anti-rotation exercise. It's quite a bit harder, just so you know, than the mountain climbers. Okay, the next one is a little bit dynamic. Not super challenging for the abdominals, but it's sort of fun. You go from a plank to a sort of a modified downward dog with the knees bent, and then you come back into that plank position. So that looks like this. Here we go. Here we are in our plank. We soften the knees, you push back, and then you just drive it forward. And you want to get to that plank as quickly as you can. So it's quite dynamic. Get there and hold. Now the length of the hold can be as long as you want it. So modified downward dog, into plank, modified downward dog, into plank. Okay? So with that one, you might do 20 to 25 to 30. It's an exercise that I'll often use as a core warm-up rather than as one that I think is super challenging. All right, the next one we're going to do is just a foot tap. So it's taking the leg, taking it to the side. So what your job is there is to not let side bending occur when you move the leg. So arms are stable, one foot goes, other foot goes. Okay, here we go. Here it is, up in your basic plank, disengage, take the leg out as far as you can, bring it back. So really being conscious here to not let a side bend occur through the trunk. All the basics are still there. Shoulders are strong, core is strong, glutes are engaged. Okay? Now, the next one is more dynamic. So this might even fit into a HIIT class because this one's going to get your heart rate up and you're going to hear me breathing when I do it. So it's a hop, a two-legged hop from side to side in a plank position. So land softly through your feet, hold in your core. That's what you want to do. So you'll make it light. You can make it as fast or as slow as you want. So here we go. Hopping from side to side. So here's our starting position. We're going to bend the knees. You can hop, land lightly, hop and land, hop and land. Okay? The whole time, strong through the arms, strong through the legs. All right? So, you know, my challenge to me is to get to 40 to 50. And at the end of it, I need a little break because yes, the core, but also your heart rate's going to go up. Your breathing rate's going to go up. All right, the last one is the most challenging. So this one is a plank where we combine a lift of the leg and a lift of the opposite arm. So if you haven't mastered the others, this might be not one you want to try. When you do try this one, make sure that you're in a safe environment because I don't want you to fall over and hit your head on something, right? So no sharp edges, no tables, not doing it up on a high surface, because it's quite challenging to balance in this one. So here we go. We're going to come into our basic plank, okay? First thing you're going to do is lift the leg, okay? You got that? You're going to fire it up, and you're going to take your arm off and hold it, and hold it, and hold it, and put it down, okay? Other leg comes off. Find it, prepare, lift, reach, hold, put it down, okay? And again, leg comes off, arm comes off, hold it, hold it, hold it. Bit of a wobble there. Other side, lift, reach, hold, hold, and let it go. All right? So, for sure for me, that's the most challenging. Probably will be for you too. All right, there we have our basic plank. Really work on your form. Make sure you're not sagging. And then we have a whole series of variations to make it a little bit more fun. There's lots of other ways to do plank variations using weights, using balls. We're not going to do them in this video, but that's something that we might do in a future video. Stay tuned, you'll find it. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave it below the video. I'll see you in the next one. This video is sponsored by Feel Good Omega H+. Dr. Tobias Omega 3 is guaranteed pure and is from sustainably sourced calamari from the Atlantic Ocean. Find it at petertobias.com.